Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Group 3. In this occasion, we will present about ELT material development, material evaluation. But first of all, let me introduce my group members. The first presenter is Azmi Auliana, the second is Raden Senny, the third is Inggar Berlia Sari, the fourth is Shofy Qolbi Nurazizah, the fifth is Kirana, the sixth is Anita Septi Laraswati, and the last one is myself, Ranti Aryani. Okay everyone, let's go to the first presenter, Azmi Auliana.
Thank you, moderator. My name is Azmi Auliana. My student's number is 192122133. I'm here. We're talking about materials evaluation. Materials evaluation is a procedure that involves measuring the value or potential value of a set of learning materials, and it involves making a judgment about the effect of the materials on the people using them, and it tries to measure some or all of the following. First, following is the appeal of materials to the learner. Second, the credibility of the materials. The credibility of the materials to learners, teachers, and administrators. Third, the validity of the materials. Fourth, reliability of the material. Fifth, the ability of the materials. It means the ability of the material to interest, motivate learners and teachers. And the last is the value of materials. In terms of the short term in learning, it's very important. For example, for performance on the test or examination. The value of the material in terms of long-term learning, and then the learners and teachers' perception of the value of the materials, and then the assistance given to teachers in terms of preparations and delivery and assessment. And then there are flexibility of the material, then the contribution made by the material to teachers, and the last is the match with administrative requirements. Then there are three types of evaluation. First is pre-use evaluation. It means making predictions about potential value of materials for their user. Second is whilst use evaluation. This is measuring the value of materials whilst using them or whilst observing them being used. And the third is post-use evaluation, measuring the factual effect of the materials on the user. There are two kinds of evaluation. First, external evaluation. The aim of external evaluation is to examine the organization of the material as stated explicitly by the author of the publisher. This type of evaluation analyzes what the book tells about itself by looking at the bulb and introduction and the table of contents. Through external evaluation, information on the following may be called: first, extended audience; second, proficiency level; and third, context in which the materials are to be used; the fourth, organization into teachable units; fifth is date of publication; the sixth is author's view on language learning and teaching; the last is publisher. Second, internal evaluation. Internal evaluation covers an in-depth investigation of the value of the material in relation to its object, principles, lesson design, and assessment procedures. At this stage, the evaluator analyzes the extent in which claims in the introduction and blurb actually match up with the internal consistency and organization of the material. In order to perform effective internal evaluation of the material, At least 2 units of a book or a set of materials need to be inspected.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Raden, Senny, and Ariantini. My student's number is 192122127. In this nice occasion, I would like to continue the materials. A book might be ideal in one particular situation since it may perfectly match the need of that situation. Like it may have just the right amount of the material, it may be easy to teach, it may be need a little preparation, or it may equally cover all of the skills and grammar points. Yet it not may be quite suitable in a different situation. For instance, it may contain too little material, it may not be sufficiently challenging for both the teacher and the students, and the grammar points may be insufficient. So the information contained in the textbook must be analyzed first. The following information may be analyzed is like this. The first is presentation of the skills in the material. The second is grading and sequencing of skills. The third is authentic or artificial recordings. And the next one is authentic or artificial dialogues for speaking. And the next is relationships of tests and exercises to learners' need and course content. And then the sixth is provision for different learning style and self-study. And the last is motivation for the learners. The information contained in a textbook must be in accordance with the needs. For example, presentation of the skill in the material means that the material must be able to hone students' skill. Authentic or artificial dialogues for speaking means being able to require students to speak English through simple dialogues that are easy to understand. Another point is relationship of tests and exercises to learners' needs and course content, which confirm that they take tests and exercises that are in accordance with the material being taught. And then provision for different learning style and self-study, which offers a variety of learning styles to help students find a comfortable way of learning and motivate students to always be enthusiastic in learning. Okay, let's move. There are some advantages and disadvantages for textbooks, but we will discuss about the advantages first. The first one is they provide structure and a syllabus for a program. The second is they help standardize instruction. The third is they maintain quality. And the next one is they provide a variety of resources. The next is they are efficient. And the next, they can provide effective language models and input. The seventh is they can train teachers. And the last is they are visually appealing. While the general disadvantages of textbooks are usually the first is they may contain inauthentic language. The second is they may distort content. The third is they may not reflect students' need. The next one is they can de-skill teachers. And the last is they are expensive. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Textbook evaluation is a process of selecting what textbook to use by considering the need and value of teaching and learning. It is essential for teachers since it provides useful information for planning and managing activities or tasks by learners in classroom practice. Information collected can serve the following purposes: to provide feedback on how well the book works in practice and how effective it achieves its aims. Therefore, Before evaluating a textbook, we should consider the following question about the role of the textbook, which mostly determines the syllabus and objective in the program. The first is, will it be employed with small or big classes? The second question is, will learners be expected to buy a workbook as well? And the last is, should the textbook provide all the practice students need? That's enough of my explanation. I'm sorry for all the mistakes that I made. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And the next material will be presented by my friend. The time and place is yours.
Hello everyone, I'm Inggar. Now we will talk about textbook evaluation. Before evaluating a textbook, we should consider the following question. The first is the teachers in the program. A. How experienced are the teachers in the program and what is their level of training? B. Are they a native speaker of English? If not, how well do they speak English? C. Do teachers tend to follow the textbook closely or do they use the book simply as a resource? D. Are teachers free to adapt and supplement the book? Next, the learners in the program. A. Is each student required to buy a book? B. How much are they prepared to pay for a book? C. How will they use the book in class? Is it the primary source of classroom activities? D. Will they use the book in class and at home? Now we will talk about factors involved in the development of commercial textbook. The first is the books representing the interest of the author, and the second is the books representing the interest of the publisher. Criteria for textbook evaluation. According to Cunningsworth, 1995, there are 4 criteria for evaluating textbook. They should correspond to learners' needs. They should take account of student needs as learners and should facilitate their learning process. They should reflect the use, present or future that learners will make of the language. The last is they should have a clear role as a support for learning. That's all from me. Next will be presented by Shofy.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Shofy Nurazizah. My student's number is 192122150. Now I will explain from Harmerji 19 and 98 how to teach English. 6 additional area. Criterion, 1 price. Question to consider: how expensive is the textbook? Can the student afford it? Will they have to buy an accompanying book? Can they afford both? What about the teacher? Can he or she pay for the teacher's book and tabs? And 2 availability. The question to consider is the course available. Are all its components, student's book, teacher's book, workbook, and etc. In the shops now, what about the next level for the next term or semester? Has it been published? Is it available? What about tabs, videos, etc. 3. Layout and design. Is the book attractive? Does the teacher feel comfortable with it? Do the student like it? How user-friendly is the design? Does it get in the way of what the book is trying to do, or does it enhance it? 4. Methodology. Question to consider is what kind of teaching and learning does the book promote? Can teachers and students build appropriate ESA sequence from it? Is there a good balance between study and activation? 5. Skills. Does the book cover the 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking adequately? Is there a decent balance between the skills? Are the opportunities for both study and activation in the skills work? Is the language of the reading and listening text appropriate? Are the speaking and writing tasks likely to engage the student interest? The sixth is syllabus. Is the syllabus of the book appropriate for your... And the sixth is syllabus. Is the syllabus of the book appropriate for your student? Does it cover the language point you would expect? Are they in the right order? Do the reading and listening text increase in difficulty as the book progresses? And the seventh is topic. Does the book contain a variety of topics? Are they like to engage the student interest? Does the teacher respond to them well? Are they culturally appropriate for the student? Are they too adult or too childish? And the eighth is stereotyping. Does the book represent people and situations in a fair and equal way? Are various categories of people treated equally? Is there stereotyping of certain nationalities? Does the book display conscious or unconscious racism or sexism? And the ninth is teacher's guide. The question to consider: is there a good teacher's guide? It is easy to use. Does it have all the answers the teachers might need? Does it offer alternatives to lesson procedures? Does it contain a statement of intention which the teacher and student feel happy with? And now I will explain from your penny 1991 about a course in language teaching. The criterion. Objective explicitly laid out in an introduction and implemented in the material. Approach educationally and socially acceptable to target community. Clear alternative layout. Print easy to read. Appropriate visual materials available. Interesting topics and tasks. Varied topic and tasks so as to provide for different learners levels, learning styles, interests, and etc. Clear instruction, systematic coverage of syllabus.
Continue the previous material. Here we can see the content clearly organized and graded, sequenced by difficulty, and then periodic review and test sections, plenty of authentic language, good pronunciation, explanation and practice, good vocabulary explanation and practice, good grammar presentation and practice, fancy practice in all 4 skills, encourages learners to develop on learning strategies and to become independent in their learning, adequate guidance for the teacher, not too heavy preparation load, and less is audio cassettes or CDs. According to UR Penny 1991, this is the symbols of importance. If the checklist are 2, it means very important. If the checklist is 1, it means fairly important. If it has a question mark symbol, it means not sure. If the symbol of X is 1, it means not important. And if there are 2X or double X, it means totally unimportant. Also with the criterion that objectives explicitly laid out in an introduction and implemented in the material. Another checklist according to Brown, adapted from Robinet 1978. The first one is goals of the course. We have to know, will this textbook help to accomplish your course goals? Second is background of the students. We have to know, does the book fit the student's background, such as age, native language and culture, educational background and motivation or purpose for learning English? Third is approach. Does the theoretical approach reflected in the book reflect a philosophy that you and your institution and your students can easily identify with? The theories are theory of learning and theory of language. Fourth is language skills. As we know, the 4 skills are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. We have to know, does the book integrate the 4 skills? Is there a balanced approach toward the skills? Or does the textbook emphasize skills which the curriculum also emphasizes?
Fifth is general content such as validity. Does the textbook accomplish what is proposed to? And then there is authenticity of language, appropriateness and currency of topics, situation, and context. And then there is a proficiency level. Is it pitched for the right level? From this general content, we have to know, does the book reflect what is now known about language and language learning? Sixth is quality of practice materials such as exercises. Is there a variety from control to free? Then there is clarity of directions. Are they clear to both students and teacher? Then there is active participation of students. Is this encouraged effectively? And there is grammatical and other linguistic explanation to know, is it inductive or deductive? Last is review material to know, are there sufficient spiraling and review exercises? And the seventh is sequencing, like how is the book sequenced by grammatical structure, by skills, by situation, and by some combination of the above. Well, that's all for me. Next material will be presented by Anita.
Alright, thank you. Hello everyone. I am Anita Septi Laraswati and my student's number is 192122153. I would like to continue to present the material about checklist of course book evaluation according to Brown adapted from Robinet 1978. Number 8 is vocabulary, which is answered the question, does the book pay sufficient attention to words and word study? Number 9 is general sociolinguistic factors, consist of variety of English and cultural content. Number 10 is format, which is answered the question, is the book attractive, usable, and durable? Number 11 is accompanying materials, which is answered the question, are there useful supplementary materials? And the last is teacher's guide, consists of methodological guidance, alternative and supplementary exercise, suitability for non-native speaking teacher, and answer keys. Alright, there is also the checklist of course book evaluation by Canningsworth 1995. The first one is the organization of course book, including what techniques are used for recycling and reinforcement? Are there reference sections? Is there a list of new vocabulary? Is there material suitable for use in a self-study mode? Does it have a key to exercises? How long are the units? Second is language content, including grammar, vocabulary, phonology, style, and language skill. Grammar consists of questions. What grammar items are included? Are they presented in small enough units for easy learning? And how balanced is the treatment of form and use? Alright, vocabulary consists of questions. Is there any principle basic for selection of vocabulary? Is there any distinction between active and passive vocabulary or classroom vocabulary? Are specific needs of chess or at least Slavonic learners considered? And are learners sensitized to the structure of the lexicon through vocabulary learning exercises based on semantic relationship, formal relationship, or collocation? And phonology consists of questions. How thoroughly and systematically are each of the following aspects of the phonological system covered? Individual sounds, word stress, sentence stress, and intonation. Are specific needs of chess or at least Slavonic learners considered? Is the pronunciation work built on the other type of work, such as listening, dialogue practice, etc., or does it stand separately? And are there CDs or cassettes for pronunciation practice? Style. Style consists of the questions. Is there any attempt to match language style to social situations? And which geographical variety of English is taught? British, American, or other international English? And language skill consists of the questions. Is there practice in all of our four skills, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing? If so, is it balanced? If not, which skills are omitted? Does the course book use authentic reading material at an appropriate level? What kind of comprehension questions are asked? Does the course book use authentic listening material at an appropriate level? And how is accuracy and fluency balanced in speaking and writing? Alright, that's all from me. The material about checklist of course book evaluation according to Canningsworth will be presented by Ranti.
Hello everyone, I'm Ranti Aryani. My student's number is 1921222134. Here I want to continue the topic from the previous presenter, Anita, about the checklist of coursebook evaluation by Canningsworth. Okay, the third checklist is topic, subject content, and social values. The topic can be real or imaginary. It means the topic in the coursebook can be based on the real story in real life, of course, and it will make the student can imagine the story or what the coursebook talking about, and it makes them more interesting and make them more easily understand the topic because it can be include their real experience in the topic. And then the social and cultural value are usually unstated. Value system is not explicit, but the underlying values are at least as important as the language content. It is important to look at this aspect and try to identify the underlying values. Hidden curriculum is the image of life presented by coursebook. The attitudes they convey, consciously or unconsciously, and the social and cultural values they communicate. In some modern coursebooks, only young and happy people are depicted, which leads to a distorted view of reality. I think it is important to know this, to include the social and cultural values in the coursebook because it makes the students aware of what kind of society they live in. Okay, and there is stereotyping. Stereotyping can be another problem occurring in some coursebooks. For example, a simplistic profile of a typical British family is described. We do not have to worry if we come across stereotyping occasionally. We can always confront it and discuss it with the students. However, as soon as it becomes pervasive, we should consider choosing different course books. It is illuminating to look at materials to see if and how the course book represents people according to the following categories: ethnic origin, occupation, age, social class, and disability. And are the characters in the book depicted in kind of social structures such as family, peer group, workplace, and some kind of that or not? Okay, the fourth checklist is about methodology. And in methodology, there is learner's needs and principle and approaches. Okay, about the learner's need, it means that we have to consider if the coursebook contains what the learners needs or not. Does the material discuss and identify areas of student need? Is the book sensitive to what students need in order to learn well? And then about the principles and approaches. It's about does the book encourage deductive or inductive approach to learning or balance both of them? Is accuracy balanced with fluency? Are learners encouraged to use language creatively? What is the attitude towards error? And what is the attitude towards the use of students' mother tongue? Okay, the next is visuals. I think visual is really important, especially for young learners and for the beginners, because visualization in the course book can make the learning process more easier or can make them easy to understand what the topic is talking about. But we have to consider this. Are the visuals in the book used as an integral part of teaching, or are they essentially decorative, so it is related for the teaching process or the topic, or it is just for decorative purposes? And are they reasonable, well produced, and attractive? And the next is about study skills. Study skill is there any reflection on study techniques and any advice on study skills development? Are students encouraged to take some degree or responsibility for their learning? Are there any materials for independent work? Okay, the last one is teacher's book. So when evaluating a teacher's book, you can ask the following question. What components does the teacher's book include? Is it written so as to be comprehensible enough to less experienced teachers? Is it suitable for native and non-native speakers? Is the underlying approach of the writers expressed clearly and explicitly? Is there a cultural explanation to enable teachers unfamiliar with, for example, British lifestyle to interpret and exploit appropriately to the situation portrayed in the course book? Are learning difficulties predicted and appropriate advice given? Are keys to exercise and other activities provided? Are there regular progress tests? Are there guidelines for evaluating how well lessons went? And are there any photocopiable additional materials? So that's all from me. Thank you, everyone.